Hello, everyone. Welcome to AI Marketing. Today, joining me is Julian Goldie. Sorry. And we're going to talk about SEO in the AI era. Now, I'll tell you from personal experience, I probably use, a ChatGPT or a Claude or a Grok more than Google at this point to find things just because it's just so efficient and it knows my tastes and knows me. And I suspect this will become more of the norm. Even with Google, they're showing an AI result. So before we jump into this, Julian, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, yeah. So I basically help companies grow their business and scale with AI and SEO. So SEO is changing so much with the pace of AI, the way people find information, the way people search, etc. It's all changing with ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, and all these other AI search engines. And we essentially help businesses and website owners learn how to adapt in that era, how to scale their business, and how to save time with AI automation.
Excellent. All right. So let me ask you this: Are you mainly focused on using AI to help with people's SEO, or are you doing both SEO and what do they call it? AEO? What's the AI version of that?
Yeah, so there's actually about 50 different names that marketers have come up with to pretend there's a new opportunity. But essentially, yeah. So we do both. Like when we're helping a client with SEO, and if you're a website owner and you want to learn, okay, how do I rank inside AI search engines? It's actually very similar to ranking inside Google traditionally because the same elements, aka keywords, finding what people search into Google, content, aka blog posts around those search terms, and then also building links from one website to another, from other sites to yours, like literally just a clickable text from one website to another.
Yep.
That is all the same with AI search engines. So a lot of our clients who are ranking number one in Google also rank number one in ChatGPT or inside Grok or inside Perplexity for the same search terms. There's one big difference between them all, though. And that big difference is if you want AI search engines to index you and recommend you more to customers when they're searching on, say, ChatGPT, then you really want to be even more omnipresent. So, like, back in the old days, you just have a website and that was all you needed to rank on Google. But if you want to rank on, for example, ChatGPT, and you want to sort of maximize your chances of ranking, then publish content across many different platforms. So, for example, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Reddit is great for this. And as many platforms as you can, really, because what the AI does is it searches across the web, across many different data points. That's how it's trained. And so the more data points it has, aka if it can find you on Reddit, if it can find you on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on your blog, on LinkedIn and X and etc., then it's going to be trained on all your data and therefore more likely to recommend you to customers when people search for you.
Hmm. Okay. So, but what's the difference? How how are you looking to place links for AI versus, a Google search? Is it a different approach or it's the same approach? What are you doing?
So when you say place links, like to actually get ranked inside the search engine,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's really very similar. It's a very similar game. I mean, actually, ChatGPT this year, they were found out to be using Google's API to rank websites within their own ChatGPT interface. So up to a certain point this year, ChatGPT was using the pretty much the same algorithm as Google to rank websites.
Hmm. But do they always go to that website that's ranked and use that information? That's not been my experience.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So it's a mix. It depends because, for example, like Mark, if you're using ChatGPT, your experience will be quite different to someone else's,
Right.
which means that it can be personalized to you. Like ChatGPT knows you and it tends to understand how you want information and how you want to be communicated with. One thing that I've found in particular is that generally, I don't know about you, but I don't tend to click outside of ChatGPT. So, for example, if
I
someone
do though, because I just did a tire search, right? And I'm like, show me I'm trying to get my tires replaced for my Tesla that I drive, and I'm like, show me. I use the agent mode. I say, go find the best price amongst everything in the area, and it found a discount tire about 5 miles away from me that was priced best for four tires for four tires. Now, it went and did the ranking. I know that's an agent mode. It's not what everyone uses, but it ranked them according to my specifications. So that to me was pretty powerful and one of the things that I wanted to bring up today.
Nice. Yeah, I guess like we were talking about with personalization, like your experience with ChatGPT will probably be quite different in terms of the results versus someone else because it knows how you want the information laid out and how you want things organized.
But from a search engine or a ChatGPT engine point of view, how do I make sure that my tire store shows up there? Do I have to have all the right information in a certain way on the website? Is it that's got to be different, I would imagine, than what Google does.
Well, I mean, if you let's say for example, let's say you're in New York and the customer inside ChatGPT is typing in like cheapest tires New York, right?
Hmm.
And that's the keyword that you want to rank for. So the first stage would be the keyword research, which is figuring out, okay, what are people typing in to find my potential product, right? So that's stage one, keyword research. And what you're essentially going to be looking for here is low competition keywords with high search volumes that you can rank for inside ChatGPT. So, for example, like cheap tires, New York, that could be an example, right? And the way that you would find those, here's what I recommend. This is what works for me: is you go to Ahrefs, which is a tool online for keyword research, ahrefs.com. Then you're going to search for keywords around cheap tires, New York, that have a keyword difficulty score of less than 10 and a search volume of more than 100, right? So that's the tactic. And that's stage one for the keyword research. You find all those keywords that fit that criteria I just mentioned. Stage number two, you would create content around that keyword that is already working for your competitors, right? Now, the way that you do this is you just go into ChatGPT, you type in your search term. So, for example, best cheap tires, New York. You're going to see what your competitors are using in terms of ranking inside ChatGPT. Okay, so like, what's the page they created? What type of content did they create on that page? How did they structure the page to rank inside ChatGPT? So,
Hmm.
for example, what titles did they include? What was the word count? What did they talk about on the page, etc. And reverse engineer that,
Yeah.
right? So that's the content stage. And you would just go off and create content in a similar way, but in a way that's better. You know, for example, it might be creating more interesting content, or for example, answering the question in a more direct way, or making your content less fluffy and more helpful than your competitors. So you got your keywords, then you've got your content. The final stage, and this is really important, is you want to build backlinks to that content that you just created, right? Backlinks, for anyone who's not familiar with this, is just a clickable text from one website to another. So every time you click from one page to another page on the internet, that is a backlink. And if you get relevant, authoritative backlinks, basically, like let's say you're a plumber and you get backlinks from other plumbers in your industry, then you look more authoritative. These are like votes to say that your content is good. And so the more backlinks you get, aka votes, to say that your content is good, the more likely you are to rank inside ChatGPT as well, right? So if you look inside ChatGPT, quite often you'll find that the pages it recommends are the ones that are the most authoritative, right? The ones with the most backlinks pointed to them. And so if you follow those three steps, keywords, content, backlinks, you're much more likely to rank. There are some other tactics as well, right? So for example, what a really good way to sort of manipulate ChatGPT to try and get your business ranking inside there is to create what are called listicles. And these are basically like top 10 or top 15 lists of the best suppliers in that industry. So let's say, for example, you want to rank inside ChatGPT for the best SEO speakers in the industry, right? You would create a top 15 list of the best SEO speakers and you would place yourself number one on that list, right? And then when the AI indexes that information from your website, then it would see you as the expert because you're recommending them on that list and just recommend that to users inside ChatGPT as well. So that's the other way that it works.
Okay. Now let's go to my example, agent mode. Have you guys started thinking about how to rank within agent mode? Because then it appears it's looking at the website for just certain bits of information. And I don't know if it's going to the high authority ones at that point because it's really got a different goal, not to give me the best information, but maybe to give me the best price. So have you even thought about that? Is that even a thing yet?
Honestly, I've tested agent mode. I don't know many people use it.
Yeah,
And
I
I
do a
think that
lot.
will change. It will
No,
change
it's
in
going to
the
change.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think it's still the same process, which is like, quite often as well, like agent mode, it's using the same APIs to rank data as the normal chat GPT version.
But don't you think it's different because you could do hotel prices, you could do airline prices. It it's finding some odd things. Like it'll go to a bunch of all airlines really, and mostly all the hotels, and finding, 4 star. It's able to parse down what it's looking for and to give you the prices for certain dates. And I can't imagine that has anything to do with ranking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Mm,
it seems like it knows all the airlines, it knows all the hotels already, and it's going to check on them one by one. You could see it operate in the window. It's kind of showing you what it's doing in a browser. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
So I wonder if it's the same. I don't know the answer to this. Perhaps we could find out at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to BS you and tell you like I know how to rank inside agent mode, so I'm not gonna tell you that I do.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not a ranking thing. It's like hiring a human to go to every website it knows about and then find the information. Maybe that's the actual answer. Just make it easy for the agent to get the information.
Yeah,
Or
that's
maybe you
it.
price it differently. I don't. You probably know this. Depending on what browser you're coming in on or what location in the world you're coming on, you get different prices for airlines and hotels. So maybe if you detect an agent is asking for this information, you give it a lower price or something different. I don't know. Just a thought, marketers. Just a thought.
Mm,
We're still early. There's not like Julian said. There's not a lot of people doing it, but I like to push the envelope with these things. And agent mode is very superior to if you're looking for something specific than just a search. All right. So what else, Julian? Before we wrap things up, what else can you tell us about what's what's going forward? Do you think that let's say it's 2 years from now? Are most of the searches on an LLM or are they still on Google, do you think?
Well, I think if you look even at Google, like that's becoming the LLM, right? So, for
Yeah,
example, if you look at the search results from Google, quite often it will rely on AI
it will.
overviews
It
to,
will.
to give you the answer. And so, I think the way the whole world is searching is it's moving towards LLMs, and you've got AI overviews inside Google that will become more prominent. I mean, 2 years ago, I don't know if you remember, but Google was so far behind with these AI search engines that the content
Oh
it was
yeah.
giving on AI search was terrible. It was telling people to
Yes.
put glue on their pizzas, and which wasn't ideal. So
Right.
I think they've come a long way, and the way I see the world moving is that we're all becoming more and more aware of LMs. I mean, bear in mind as well as marketers, like we're always 2 or 3 years ahead of most people and most people's trends. So if you're using, for example, Asian mode now, Mark, probably more and more people will be using that in the future. And if we're using ChatGPT day to day for work, it might not be happening right now, but the rest of the world will catch up eventually. And I think most AI searches will. I mean, most searches in the world will come from LLMs. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we are way ahead. Although everything seems to be, moving pretty fast. So last question before we wrap things up. Where or if you're a marketer at a mid-size or large company, which is the majority of our listeners here, how would you allocate your budget for SEO versus AEO, whatever we're calling it these days?
Yeah, so the way that I would look at it is I don't know if I'd even separate the budgets. I'd focus on both. I mean, like, we work with some billion-dollar companies. We work with some mid-sized companies as well, all the way down to solopreneurs. And they don't tend to separate the budgets, but they'll try and create like an all-inclusive SEO strategy that works across each of these. So, for example, the keywords, content, backlinks method, it still works whether you're ranking in SEO or inside AI. And so the main thing to note here is like people are going to be searching more than ever. It's easier than ever to get the information that people need. And so that means like the number of searches and the quality of search is always going to improve over the next few years, which means that I would say now is a very bullish time to be searching and to invest in SEO, which means maybe you don't separate the budgets, but you do invest more.
Okay. Well, great point. Okay. So, Julian, let's wrap things up. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at your company and how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, thanks very much. So we help websites rank number one and get more leads, traffic, and sales from Google and AI search engines. If you want to get in touch, I'm available at juliangoldie.com. We have an agency that helps mid-sized companies and all sorts of enterprises around the world with SEO. And you can book in a free SEO strategy session on that website. So it's at juliangoldie.com, which is my name. And you can book in a free SEO strategy session. And we'll just give you a blueprint on how to rank inside AI search engines and also inside Google so that you can get more leads, more traffic, more sales, and scale your business with SEO.
Excellent. Thank you so much for answering our questions directly. It was really helpful. And if there's any major changes, please come back on the show and let us know what they are.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate you having me, Mark.